Hello everyone, this is Mel from Sewing with Mel, and today I'm going to do a short tutorial here on how to make a cover for your tablet. I used to make these all the time many years ago when e-readers first came out, and I still make them, and my own tablets have had covers like this on them ever since I bought it, and I just love them. It's easier to hold on to, gives you something to grip, and you can make a stand with it so that you can watch movies. You don't need a pattern. I have a formula that I'm about to share, so let's get started. Okay, the first thing you have to do is measure your tablet, all right? And I'm going to point out most tablets these days are pretty thin, okay? If your tablet is thicker than 1/4 of an inch, you might have to do a little figuring on your own. My formula does not account for anything thicker than 1/4 of an inch. All right. So the first thing you want to do, you're going to measure this and you're going to measure this. All right. Now I've already measured it. I'm going to scoot it over and we're going to talk about it here. This measurement, let's draw our tablet. This measurement on this tablet is 9.5, okay? This measurement this way is 6 3/4, so 6.75, okay? This measurement doesn't change through the whole thing. This one does because you're making a book. You want it to open and close, right? So the first thing we're going to do is let's do this first. This is for the outside piece of your tablet cover, okay? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to double that measurement, okay? Mine is 6.75. 6.75 times 2 equals 13.5, okay? Now, on top of that, in order to make this work, you need to add 2 inches. Okay, so here's my measurement of the short side. Times 2 equals 13.5 plus 2, 15.5. Okay, now this one, we're not doubling. That stays the same. Okay, so 9.5, you want to add 1 inch to that. And that makes 10.5, 10.5, 15.5. This is the size of the outside piece that you're going to cut. So let's just say that your tablet was 7 by 10 and not this, okay? And you don't have to go down to 16ths or even 8ths. Just do it on 1/4 inches, okay? Just round up. Don't round down, round up. So let's just say that this was 7 by 10. This would be 10 plus 1 equals 11. And this would be 7 times 2, which would be 14, plus 2, which would be 16. See what I'm getting at? That's how you get the measurements to make the pattern. All right, now let's move this for a minute. I have already cut out my pieces, so let's talk about those. Here is the back piece, okay? So my tablet, let me get it, will be over here, like so, like that, okay? A good way to test is to find the center once you do it here. And my center is right there. Right there is my center. Take your tablet and center it right there. And then if you measure all the way around, you'll get 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, there's 1/2 inch up there. So you've got 1/2 inch, where's my center? About right there. So your tablet will be right in the center of that, and you'll have 1/2 inch all the way around. So this and this should then be the same size. That gives you plenty of room to have your spine and for your seam allowance and everything. All right, next. You've got this piece. You want to go ahead and interface this piece, okay? And I use Woven Fuse. This is Woven Fuse. It is a replacement for SF101. Woven Fuse comes from Got Interfacing, okay? I love this stuff. I like it better than SF101. It adheres better. I just think it's a better product and it costs less, okay? So interface the whole entire thing, even in the seam allowance, okay? Now, let's put this one over here for now. On the inside, for the inside of the cover, it's going to be in 2 pieces, okay? Let me get the other side back. Let's pick these up. Here's the outside. And I've done the same thing here on this side, okay? On the right, this is your right side piece. The way you get the measurements for this, what is half of this, okay? What is the center of that? This whole thing is 15.5. Half would be 7 3/4. So I think my 7 3/4 is right there. That would be half. So what is half? So you would take your 7 3/4 and you're going to add an inch to that. So this piece, both pieces, you're going to cut 2 of these, are 8 3/4. Okay, they're going to overlap. Here's your back. Here's this side. And here is this side. So they're going to overlap. Now, these 2 pieces, let's move this. We don't need to look at it right now. The right side, you will interface the whole entire thing, okay? The left side, you want to leave an inch off. So instead of being 8.75, you've got 7.75, okay? And what you're going to do then is you're going to press this over, okay? So what happens is, here's our outside. Here is the right side. This is where the tablet goes. And it goes just like that. This side, once it gets pressed, goes like that. And they overlap. This should still be about center, okay? See how that works? All right. The third thing, or fourth thing, I guess it is, you need to cut 4 3 by 3 inch squares. Okay, these are the corners that your tablet fits into. Okay, these do not get interfaced. We need them to stretch a little bit, okay, because they're going to get folded like this, and then they'll be on the bias, and they will stretch a little bit. And that's what we need them to do that. And if you interface it, they can't stretch, and then you'll be mad because your tablet won't fit in there. All right, let's put these away for now. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press this down and go to the next step. Let's work on the corners. All right, so here is our right side. And we've got 4 squares. Take 2 of the squares and fold them diagonally like that. Okay, press them down. Those 2 squares, triangles now, are going to get put there and there. Okay, and pin them down or clip them down, however you want to do it. Just get them attached there. Put this one here. Okay, let me do this one. I don't quite have it over there. There we go. I probably should have used a different color for the corners. They're kind of hard to see, but you get the picture, like that. Okay, these are your outside corners. Now you need to make 2 inside corners, all right? Now what we're going to do is you're going to fold them right sides together, and you're going to stitch at about, 1/8 of an inch across there. And then we'll turn them, and then there'll be a finished edge right there. I'll do that and be right back. Okay, once you sew that edge, you're going to turn it. So cut off the very point, okay, and then turn it. Now you're not going to get a perfect point, and you don't really need a perfect point. You just need it to look the best you can make it. So I like to use a little knitting needle here to poke it out. I think I've had this knitting needle since I was like 8. All right, like so. Okay, and then you press it. All right, let me do the other one and we'll move on. This is what they look like when they're pressed. Okay, now take that side where you've got this and this, and remember how we made it exactly half but then added an inch? Take your ruler and take that inch back off. Go in an inch, but add 1/8 to that. Okay, so 1/8 of an inch from that edge looks like that. So 1 inch and 1/8 there. Take these, and you're going to take your sewn edge and butt it right up to your ruler like that, and do the same thing with this one like that. And remove this and pin these down. Now you want to make sure that this stays straight. It'll look better in the end. Your tablet will fit better. Just like that. See if I can move it without moving it. Little crooked mouth. There and there. And I like to butt my ruler back up to it and make sure I got it straight. I might have made it crooked. Looks pretty good. Okay, now if you took your tablet, just to double check, and you laid it on top, you have got, careful of the pins, you've got it at about 1/2 inch here, see, 1/2 inch, there, all the way around. From here, not from here, from here. Now we're going to go to the sewing machine, and I'm going to start stitching here. Start at that corner and double back stitch back there, okay? You want to make sure this is strong. And go across there, then all the way down, around, back over here, and stop at the end of this corner, okay? Back and forth. All right, stitched all around. Let me bring it up so you can see what I did. And if I didn't say it before, it's about 1/8 of an inch. So you're going to top stitch that, but this is actually your basting, but it's all the same. Okay, and I just went all the way around to this side and stopped. Now you can test your tablet, and it's going to be loose, but let's see here. Yep, that looks pretty good. So you should have about the same all the way around. See how you got an outside edge there? That should all be about the same. All right, let's take this back out. Okay, let's put it together. This is the outside, and you want it facing you. Okay, your tablet is going to go on the right, and the other side's going to go on the left. You want to put the left side on first. You want to lay it down first because the whole thing, once we sew it together, it'll be like an envelope. You want this to be closest to this. So let's put this here, just like so. Then take your other side and you're going to lay it like that on this side, okay? And we're going to pin it in all the corners. I like to pin the corners and the edges in the middle. I just want to make sure that it all matches up. The more precise you do things, the better things turn out. Okay. Make sure I got this. Good. And this corner, oh, I did that already. This edge and this. Just like that. Now, we're going to go over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew all the way around. No opening. Okay, all the way around at 1/4 of an inch. All sewn. Now I want to point something out. If I were you, I would reinforce in the corners, okay? Because you're going to be pushing on them and we have to cut it off. So if you don't reinforce it, you might stick your knitting needle or whatever you're using to poke out those corners right through there. So give yourself a little extra stitching in the corners, okay? Do some back stitching. All right, so now we're going to cut the corners off. And actually, I like to do it at a little bit of an angle so that it's more graduated like that, instead of just cutting it straight. One, two. Let's do it to all 4 corners. And one more. Don't cut too close. Okay, here's where we add our padding. All right. I'm using LuxeSew. This is another product from Gut Interfacing. I just love it. It is a sew-in, okay? It is not a fusible. I like it because it gives a nice squishy loft to the cover, okay? Let me see if I can find a little piece here and I'll show you what this looks like. It's kind of a cross between a foam and a fleece. Now, if you iron this, you're going to smash it flat, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? So cut a piece that fits just inside, like about, oh, maybe 1/8 of an inch away, but it needs to fit just inside your outside stitching line that you just did, okay? Now, the way I put this on this, I'm going to use Tempo spray. You can use any kind of spray adhesive to put it on there. Make sure it's for fabric. If it's not, it might be stinky and bleed through to your fabric on the other side. You don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go spray this and I'll be right back. All right, I am all sprayed and it's pretty sticky. This is Tempo spray, in case you were wondering what I was talking about. Okay, it's a repositionable spray. I really like it. All right, now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to try to center this as best I can inside my stitching line, like so. And we're going to just press it down really good. Don't iron it. If you iron this, you will melt it. Okay. just like so. Flip it over, put your hand inside, and I like to do it like that because that way I'm able to hold on to the padding so that it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. And while you're pushing, just push on this side so that you can kind of press that down. If it got dislodged at all, it should stick right back to it. Push it out. Then go turn it over, grab the other side, just like that. And make sure that your corners, Melanie, are on this side. That always happens to me. There. They all want to be on the same side. Poke it out. And then it should look like that. Now you can take your tablet and do another test. Slide it in there. Now it's going to be loose. And that's because we haven't top stitched yet. But you can kind of get an idea of how it's going to fit by testing it like that. All right, let's take it back out. You're going to go around. I'm going to make sure that all of these are poked out really good. And then we're going to top stitch again. We're going to go all the way around. So we're going to go over what we did and we're going to go around, 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 around. And you want to stitch that at 1/8 of an inch from the edge. And if you need to use a pin or an awl, I use a sewing awl. And as I'm stitching, I kind of pull it out like that when I'm stitching all around. Okay. Let's go top stitch. Okay, I have top stitched all the way around here in one big square. Let's test this, okay? Take your tablet. Remember how I said these need to stretch a little bit so that they can fit in there tightly? So your tablet can fit? Just like that. That's how your tablet should look in the case. Okay, if it doesn't, you might run another stitch. If it's too tight, you didn't do something right somewhere. If it's too loose, you can run another stitch, but that's what it should look like. All right, let's take this out. Now this side, your tablet keeps firm, so we don't have to worry about doing anything with this side. This side is going to be where we're going to put our cardboard. But the first thing we have to do here is go ahead and complete top stitching around here, but don't go all the way around. Do not do this part. Just do that. And I'm going to go top stitch right now. Okay, we have now top stitched at 1/8 of an inch, actually all around the whole entire thing, but we still have an opening. Now this is the side we're going to put 2 cardboard pieces in it, and it's just plain old cardboard from a cardboard box. Now I like my corrugation to run this way. I feel like it keeps it sturdier that way, okay? And no, you cannot wash it if you put cardboard in it, but you'll probably never wash it. You're just going to make a new one when this one wears out. Okay, so in order to figure out how you're going to do this, from your fold, you're going to measure in 2 3/4. Let's see, where's 3/4? I know you guys probably can't see it, but I can see through my ruler and I can see my fold on the other side. Now you want to make sure that you do this straight, or when you go to fold it so it can stand up, it won't fold right. Okay, so you want to make sure that it's straight. Then you're going to cut a piece of cardboard that fits right in that. There's going to be an 1/8 of an inch gap all the way around between your cardboard and your top stitching. See that? Top stitching, cardboard. All the way around and this side of the ruler. Okay? And once you've done that, take this away. Take this piece of cardboard that you cut and you're going to insert it in. Just make sure that you don't scrape up your your padding on the inside, my LuxeSew. Push it all the way to the end. Now this is another reason why you wanted to make sure that this was straight. Now, push it all the way over. It's right at the edge. I'm going to take my zipper foot and I'm going to butt it right up against that, and I'm going to stitch as close to that cardboard as I can, and just make sure that you make a straight stitch. Let's see if I can. Your stitch wants to be right at the edge of that cardboard. Don't sew on the cardboard, just right at the edge of it. If you sew too far away, it'll just be floppy. The closer you sew to that cardboard, the more structure you're going to have. I'll be right back. Okay, all stitched. You're probably wondering, what zipper foot did you use, Melanie? I used my little slim zipper foot. Looks like that. And it butts right up. I scoop my needle over, it butts right up to there and sews right next to that cardboard. Okay, so now we're going to cut a piece of cardboard the same way that fits in there. But we want to make sure of where the center is. This should be the center, but double check. Put your tablet in it. Again. Just like that. This whole thing is going to close. Just like so. Okay. Now I'm going to see where my center is. Yep, right there. Okay. So your piece of cardboard that you're going to cut, you have to remember, you want to be able to sew that down. So when you cut your piece of cardboard, you don't want it too big that you can't get your zipper foot in there and pull that down. So let's measure that. What do we have? We've got 1, 2, and 3/4 right to there. I'm going to cut my middle piece. I'm going to sew right there. So go in a quarter of an inch from your fold line right here. Let's go 1/4 of an inch over. And you want to be 1/8 of an inch away from that center line. So I've got 1, 2 and a half. That's about right. That's what I did before. So I'm going to cut a 2.5 inch piece of cardboard that fits in there. I've cut my piece of cardboard. Was a box. That is going to go in there like that. So let's take this out. Put it aside. I'm going to turn this way. Make sure that it's, even. Otherwise you're going to have crooked lines. Shove that one in there. Just like that. Now, this, you need to be able to pull this down and stitch on it. If you can't pull it down, your piece of cardboard is too big, okay? You need to make sure that you leave yourself enough room. I think I've got enough room. So I will take my zipper foot, I'm going to put it on my machine, and it will stitch just like that all the way down, right there. And stitched right down the center. Okay? Now, if we put our tablet in there, just like that, and close it. And it takes a little bit. By the time you get done using it a bunch, it'll end up being perfect. You kind of have to work that fold in there. Like that. Okay. So now, you can set it up like that. But I have one more thing to show you. Okay. If you want to, you can put a closer there, a little tab. I used to put tabs on them, and I stopped doing it because I never closed it anyway. I never found a need to have it stay shut. It wasn't a big deal. Okay, so now if you wanted it to be like that, right? So that you could stand it up and have it in the kitchen and look at recipes, or just have it stand up like that, you would need to put something back here, okay, so that the whole thing can stand up. Let me get the other one that I made for this tablet. I sewed a fabric tab on the back of it. Okay, so let's put this one in here and I'll show you how it works. It works really well. Okay, just like that. You would turn it this way. This fits up under there like that, and it stands up. Okay, now you could put, instead of a tab, you could put a button there, or 2 buttons. You could put a whole big long one if you wanted to. It's up to you. You can do whatever you want to. And all that is a piece of fabric that was, I think it was 2 inches. I think it was 2 inches. I'm not sure. I will measure that and we'll see. We're going to make one and I'll show you how to put it on there. But when you go to sew it on, you're doing it last because you're just going to sew it here. It won't matter. You can sew on the other side of this. Okay? All right. Let's get that tab on and then we'll be done. For that tab on my tablet cover, I made mine 5 inches long by 3 inches wide, and then I cut 1 small piece of interfacing because you want it to be pretty stiff so that it has something to butt up against. Otherwise it could just slide right off. Okay, so this is 3 inches wide. This is 1.5 inches wide. It is also 1 inch shorter. Okay, so you're going to put it in the middle and you'll fuse it in the middle, wherever my middle is. Okay, and then you're going to fold your ends in like that, and then you'll fold the whole thing in half. Okay, so I'm going to go press that and I'll be right back. Before I stitch this, I want to show you how I did it. Okay, so there it is unfolded. Fold your sides in first, press it down, then fold those sides in, then fold the whole thing in half, and that's what you have. All right, first I want to top stitch around that. Stitched. Okay, now take your case, put your tablet in it, like so. Okay, turn it and see where you're going to want it to stop, okay, on the back. If you put it too low, it'll be like that, which is not right, okay? If you put it too high, it'll flop forward. So you want to find the right angle that this needs to be at, and it's usually about right there. Okay, can you see where that's going to go? What I do is I hold it like that. I put it at the angle I want, and I hold it, and I say to myself, what angle do I want this at? I want it about right there. So I'm going to hold it, make a little thumbprint right there, see? Then this, the edge, I just top stitched here. I didn't top stitch that folded part. Can you see? I'm going to put that top part right there. I'm going to center it. And I'm going to be very careful because my tablet is in there. You want to make sure this is straight too. Like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my tablet out now that I have it where I want it. Bring it back over. Make sure it's straight. Looks good right there. Pin it. That pin is yucky. Try a different one. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the machine and I'm just going to stitch right across the top right there. Don't go down here. You need a flap. So stitch right across that. Okay, stitched on. See how it flaps up? Put your tablet in it for the 100th time. Like that. Then you can do this. Ta-da! Just like that. Then it can stand up. And you can watch movies that way. Okay. Nice. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and let me know if you need any help with those measurements. Have a good day.